Habang lumalalim ang political division sa Amerika, mas maraming botante ngayon ang nagsasabing pagod na sila sa traditional na two-party system ng Democrats at Republican. Sa Arizona, isang independent political movement ngayon ang unti-unting kumukuha ng atensyon at nasa sentro ng usapin ang isang gubernatorial candidate na naniniwalang panahon na para magkaroon ng bagong direksyon ang American politics. Si Hugh Little, isang Arizona gubernatorial candidate na konektado sa lumalakas na independent political movement, ay isa ngayon sa mga personalidad na sinusubaybayan matapos mauwi sa korte ang usapin tungkol sa Arizona Independent Party. Kasunod ito ng mga legal challenges mula sa magkabilang major political parties na nagsasabing maaaring malito ang mga botante sa paggamit ng terminong independent party.
I think Arizona isn't ready for an independent political movement, just like the nation's ready for it, because we have had so much partisan divide. The parties have divided on the left and the right. We're focused on extremes on the right. We're focused on extremes on the left. And that doesn't represent where the bulk of citizens are today. Most people are in the middle. Most people want to have common sense alternatives. And that's why I'm focused on running as an independent, because we are 34% of the electorate. We are larger than the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, but yet we have no representation when it comes time for elections. So I took it upon myself to say, let me try to represent the people that have been unheard and unseen, and that's why I'm doing it.
Ngunit ayon sa mga kritiko, maaaring magdulot ng kalituhan sa mga botante ang paggamit ng pangalang independent party, lalo na sa mga registered independent voters na hindi naman direktang konektado sa anumang political party.
I mean, look, I think if you're joining a party, you know you're joining a party. It doesn't matter what the name is. But listen, we because the two parties don't want competition, they have found a way to challenge the name of the party as a way to try to divert attention away from my candidacy, for example, as governor. This is typical politics. This is what you see on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't surprise me. I don't care what the party name is. It means nothing to me. I'm an independent. I'm Hugh Lytle. I represent a different set of views than the other two candidates do. And because of that, vote for me.
Iginiit ni Little na lumalaki na umano ang bilang ng mga Amerikanong naghahanap ng alternatibong political movement.
So I think that the two-party system had its day when people worked across the aisle and there was bipartisanship. But what's happening today is people are not doing that. It's creating more division. Social media algorithms are pushing to hate and divide versus common ground and compromise. I have this thing I've heard that people talk about called disagree better. Let's find a way to disagree better. So I view the job as an independent isn't to really create a third party. It's to bring the other two parties back together again. That's what my job is. And so I don't think it's a risk. I think it's needed. And that's the only reason I'm doing it. Is it's a call to service to try to help us heal what is broken.
Ayon naman kay Ryan Winkle, isang Arizona community leader, hindi lamang ito simpleng local political issue, kundi bahagi umano ng mas malaking pagbabago sa political mindset ng mga Amerikano.
The reason why it's so significant is it's been 40 years since there was a viable candidate that was independent on the ballot. Not only that, now that there's a quote-unquote independent party, the idea is not to say, oh, I don't like the Democratic Party or I don't like the Republican Party, so let's form a new party. That's not the idea. The idea was that the qualification to get on the ballot is to have some 4,000 votes, right? So signatures, I mean. So Democrats get around 4,000, Republicans get around 4,000, but independents had to get 30,000 to even get on the ballot. So the significance is that as a person that's not a Republican or Democrat, now I can run and I can get on the ballot with the same amount of signatures that either party would have. So there are actually more registered independents than there are Democrats or Republicans. But do they vote often? That's the question. Do they vote often? So as people are leaving the parties because either the Democrats are moving too left, or they're not doing enough for what they say, or Republicans are becoming more MAGA, and they're just not finding a home. I think more Arizonans are really just becoming somewhat independent, not necessarily part of an independent party, but independent politically.
Sa mga nakaraang taon, patuloy ang pagtaas ng bilang ng mga independent voters sa Estados Unidos. Indikasyon umano ng lumalaking frustration laban sa matinding political polarization sa bansa. At dahil isang Arizona sa pinakamahigpit na political battleground state sa Amerika, marami ngayon ang naniniwalang posibleng maging test ground ito para sa bagong direksyon ng independent politics.
Well, I'll tell you, I've never really tried to follow politics because it always disappoints me. But there are certainly times where, in fact, it does help move the economy and it takes care of the people that are in need. So overall, I would give Arizona like a B- for what it's doing, especially when you look at how it's treating our children and what's happening in schools.
I think the independent movement is completely untapped and something that I think can offer kind of an olive branch to people on both sides that are feeling disenfranchised by their party, whether it's they've been longtime affiliates with the party or they kind of go back and forth, which there's probably very few of these days. But yeah, I think the independent party could be a really strong potential candidate. I like a lot of what I'm hearing so far.
Choose the person that you think is right to represent your beliefs and that will run the state the way that you feel is best for the state, not just what's best for either political party.
Kung magiging tunay bang political force ang independent movement sa Amerika o isa lamang itong panibagong chapter sa lumalalim na political divide ng bansa, iyan ang patuloy na babantayan. Ngunit sa Arizona, malinaw na nagsisimula na ang mas malaking usapan tungkol sa hinaharap ng American politics. Dong Robles, The Filipino Correspondent Network, Phoenix, Arizona.